Well, hello and welcome to Hello, I am Clutch, where today I'm going to give you an inside look at Terminal 5 at O'Hare Airport. Now this is normally the international terminal, but there's also, you can get Frontier flights here, you can get Southwest flights here, and I fly Southwest a lot, so I thought it'd be good to show this terminal. Now this is a long one, so I'm going to try to cut this as little as possible, but so you can see the whole thing. But anyway, starting here, we're at M2, and it goes all the way up to M30, so this is one end, and if you turn around, you can see it just starts to become very, very long, and this is just one portion of it. So in this tour, I'm gonna kind of show you everything there is in the terminal, kind of so you can see where the gates are and what food options there are. But because there is so much walking, and I want you to see the whole thing, I think there'll be just some portions where I'm just gonna keep walking a little bit and not really say too much. But starting here, we're already on to M5 and M6, but again, I think it goes all the way up to M30. Here we have the Publican, not Republican, Publican quality bread. So it looks like kind of a coffee shop right there. And something to note about Terminal 5 is that it has been, they're constantly making it a little bit better. It used to be very desolate, it used to be not a lot of options. But now there's a lot more as of late. So here we have a Shy Life Market over here. And then also on the left, we have a few vending machines for things that are not as normal as you might think. Not food, like Pokemon cards. They got some Pokemon cards here, or your electronics, your essentials, your baby care, some stuff in there. So to the right, we have the Hampton Social. So that's something that you can get if you're at the way end of the terminal over here. And then now, for a little while, there's not much of anything. There's just like the outside there. If you aren't familiar with O'Hare, Terminal 5 is quite separate from the rest of the terminals. You can take a train for free between them, but if you're being dropped off at O'Hare, make sure if you're going to Terminal 5, you purposely go to Terminal 5, because it is a little bit separate. Anyway, as we continue along here, we're now getting to M8 and M9, and you can see there's kind of a few things up ahead, but Clutch is going to be quiet for just a couple moments here. So as I get to this junction point, there is a Chick-fil-A at the corner here. But something very important is, you can see kind of to my left over here, is this is how you get to baggage claim and grounds transportation. No matter where you are in this terminal, you have to come all the way here, as far as I know, to get to baggage claim and ground transportation. So it is quite a bit of a walk. There's the Chick-fil-A for you on the right as we continue. So now we're kind of getting to like the main middle part of the Terminal 5. And again, it is a very, very long terminal. Again, we are just beginning here. So I said it went into the 30s, but it looks like it goes up all the way to M40. So there are quite a lot of gates, and it is quite spread out, as you'll see as we continue. So to my left, we have some more places to eat. You have a Burger King over here. Then this next place looks like it's called Toco. Let's see, what it looks like. It is simple, fresh, Italian. That's what it says on the little menu over there. Got a Brookstone over here. Very classic type of store to find in an airport. I do miss my sharper image sometimes. But then on the left, you have a Big Bowl. And then I believe right here we also have a couple of lounges where we have the Delta Sky Club over here. And I think that right here is the entrance to the Swissport Lounge. So this is kind of in between M10, M11, and about M13, just to give you that reference there. We got an I Love Chicago store, so if you can get all your last minute gift needs from Chicago in case you forgot to pick up something. And again, because this is an international terminal where there's a lot of big international flights that go out of here, we got a foreign currency exchange. All right. And then over here we got a Lucky Box, which is like a regular box, but lucky. We also have a bake shop with some cakes and things, and a lot of other random stuff. Here we have like a Evolve by Hudson, which is like a big Hudson News kind of store. But then over here is M14 and M15. So M14 and M15 are kind of in their own little hovel over here. Again, I think this is where some of the bigger flights go from. So just to kind of show you, oh, I guess it even goes, there's even more over here to the left that you'll be able to see, where like it opens up just a little bit over here. So it's a bit brighter, a bit more sunshine is let in here. But you can see this is quite big in this area as well. Yeah, that looks like Austrian Airlines over there, so that's definitely some bigger stuff. So going back, you can see kind of some more shops and such to the right. And then straight ahead of me is kind of your main area where you're gonna enter. Once you get through security, this is gonna be basically where you start. And so there's not, again, a lot of stuff here. But there is kind of enough. Again, they're making it better than it's been in the past years, which is nice. So kind of to dive in over here, we have Dunkin' Donuts. I think this one's open quite long, so because I've been here at some weird times, and Dunkin' Donuts always seems to be open, which is pretty good. But then to your left here is basically like your duty-free stuff. So like a lot of like perfume and other kind of designer type of stuff, like sunglasses. And then of course you have a big old tax and duty-free shop over here. So just to look at it for a second. So you got like alcohol, big bags of candy, all that like classic stuff that you would find at a duty-free shop. And just to show you kind of like that security over there. So again, you'll kind of, no matter, at least every time I've been here, once I've gone through security, this is where I end up. So you're kind of in the middle of everything. But then if you look around, we have a bit of a food court. So back there we have a Wow Bao. Looks like we have Urban Olive. We have RJ Grunts, which I think you can take them to go. But then also I think there's an RJ Grunts sit-down restaurant right over here. So again, that's kind of like all the food you have in the main court here. There are, as we already saw, some food options as you're walking along. But just know that if you start walking one direction, your options become a little bit limited. So just be aware of that. But here now, moving to the other half of the entire terminal, we have the Dearborn over here. And then to the left is one of the, I feel like, the quintessential staple of coming to and from Chicago is getting some Garrett popcorn. Garrett popcorn is great, delicious stuff. Over here on the right is another lounge. It's your Air France lounge, so I think you're able to go in there if you have access to that, just so you see where it is. And this is kind of like, you get right to the left of that main stuff near M18, but across from M18 is some more foods. We got Tortas Frontera by Rick Bayless over here. And I think this is all just an extension of that Tortas restaurant. But now we're getting into some of the real long walking. You'll see actually in a little bit when we get to the end of this entire terminal. It really opens up and almost looks like a completely different airport. It actually reminds me of Men in Black a little bit, which you'll see why once we get there. Anyway, here's a Hudson News. Get all your snacking needs. And yeah, so for this next little bit, again, not too much to see, not too much to say, so Clutch is just gonna let you see what it looks like as he keeps walking. You can see I've done all this walking and we're still not even like halfway through all the gates. So you can kind of see ahead of me at this point, this is how you get to gates M through 40, and you can see how it is quite a long hallway at this point. So like there are some moving walkways, but they're only moving walkways. I only see them go towards the ends of the terminals, never back towards the center. So now if you get off here, you will be walking quite a bit. Just to go back over my shoulder, we do have another Hudson News, another tax and duty-free shop. Otherwise, this stretch right here is where you start to get to Gate M40 and beyond. I'm going to take a little fun ride on the moving walkway to help make us a little bionic as we want to get farther along here. I'm a dork. Welcome to the Clutch Show. That's what we do here. We have fun looking at usually attractions and silly things like that. So if you are new here and you're just going for a tour, know that I just try to help you see attractions and places before you go there to help you understand what you're getting yourself into. And that's why I'm showing you Terminal 5. All right, moving walkway ending. And a step. Oh. All right. So you see we just passed M20 and that was it. And now we're on to M21 and we still have a very, very long way to go here. Chester Cheetah says hello. Looks like you can get flamin' hot Nuts on Clark popcorn. That's what that's about. Nuts on Clark is another popcorn place, kind of like Garrett's, very well known in Chicago. And, I mean, delicious popcorn. So obviously that was quite a lot of walking, and here is another moving walkway for us here. Okay, and we're on it. Oh, looks like we might be getting a little blocked here. I know it did say like stand to the right, walk to the left, but sometimes people don't do the best job of leaving those gaps, and you just have to be a little patient. So I'm gonna walk a little slower. Oh, sorry. There you go. Yep, see, I was trying to be slower, and then of course that guy is doing a good job of being like, please, get out of my way. And then the funny thing is that everyone at the end starts to walk.
Please look down.
All right, and off the moving walkway. All right. So now we're here all the way at about M25 at this point. There is a little bit of a snack shop over here on the left. I feel like they do change what's in this hallway every now and again, at least by my experience. But again, for a while, there's not much. There are a few more restaurants at the end over here, which you'll see in just a sec. So here we have the butcher and the burger. It did look like, if you saw in the back over there, looked like you could order on those iPads if you wanted to, but if you did not want to do that, I think you can just come up over here, order drinks up at the bar, or kind of the main ordering place is here at the end right here, at this point. But now comes the point where this is the part of Terminal 5 I like the most, because as you can see, it's starting to really, really open up. It gets much bigger, it gets much brighter, it gets wider, and it starts to look a little bit like Men in Black to me. Specifically the Men in Black ride at Universal Studios. That's kind of what I feel like. So this is definitely, feels very unlike the rest of O'Hare, if you know O'Hare. Like much higher ceilings, much brighter windows. And you see it still goes on quite a long time. We have another moving walkway situation. And I'm not sure I want to go on it because I see people standing, so it'll become an obstacle course. I'm gonna do it. I'm going for it. It's the Clutch Show. We're going for a ride. Yeah. All right, there we are. All right, that lady got out of the way. Let's see if she continues to walk or get it. There we go. Hey, you can see why they have all these moving walkways. There's nothing along them other than gates for a while. But again, just something to keep in mind. I've never seen these moving walkways go the other way. They always go into the terminal, not out of it. Anyway, now that we're at the end here, we do have some more stuff. We have In Motion, which kind of looks like headphones and electronic needs. We got Boulevard and Branch, looks like just kind of another gift store with clothes and some things over there. On the left over here, we have the 6 Points Market, which is a reference to the stars on the Chicago flag. Arguably, probably not even arguably, definitively the best flag for a city ever. Because A, there's not much competition, and B, it's a fantastic flag. Then we have the Metropolis Coffee Company in the corner over here. And there are some more Gates Way in the corner over there. And then also we have a restaurant here, Bar Sienna. This place, I've gone here a few times. It is pretty solid. I believe it's Italian food, like pizzas, some pastas, things like that. Now there's a little bit more to show you, I think, as we keep going. As you can see, like this is a big terminal. I haven't cut this, and let me look. It's been almost 16 minutes walking down this, so that's pretty amazing. But at this point, we are at like the M30. So in the corner is M33 and M34. And then we got M35 over there, M36. And it looks like we're kind of getting close to the end over here. So yeah, I can see all the way down to M40 at this point. I see a couple vending machines, but honestly, there is not too much more than that. So I just want to say thank you for coming along with me for an inside tour of Terminal 5 at O'Hare. If you did like this video, I got plenty more on the channels. I got a couple fun videos that you can watch on the screen right now that you see right there. And if you want to see me in one of those adventures, I can't wait to see you. But until that time, I will say goodbye. I am still Clutch.